Hello student, welcome back to our channel NEET Mantra. I am Prince Sharma, your biology faculty and mentor. So with this video, we start day 13 of our 50-day quick revision series. If you missed our previous video, link is in the description, and for more videos like this, please do subscribe to our channel. So in this video, we are going to have quick revision of chapter Morphology in Flowering Plant, and this is a chapter which is all about example, and if you want to cover all the important example, please watch this video till the end. So let's start. First we see modification of root, stem and leaf, and first we take root. So direct elongation of the radicle lead to the formation of primary root, and lateral root are called secondary, tertiary root, and this is collectively known as taproot system. If root is developing from radicle, then the system is known as taproot system, and it is commonly seen in dicot, and one example is mustard. In monocot, primary root is replaced by large number of roots which is originated from base of stem, and it is known as fibrous root. Example is wheat. If root arise from part of plant other than radicle are called adventitious root. Example are grass, monstera and banyan. Next we see modification of root. If roots are modified for food storage, as we see in carrot and turnip, in which taproot is modified for food storage, and in sweet potato, adventitious root is modified for food storage. For support, prop root is present in banyan tree, and stilt root is present in maize and sugarcane. And for respiration or respiration, pneumatophores is present in rhizophora. Next we see stem. It developed from plumule. The main function of stem is spreading out branches, bearing leaves, flower and fruit. Then we see modification of stem. If stem is modified for food storage as an underground stem, it is seen in potato, ginger, turmeric, jamaican and colocasia. If stem is modified into stem tendril for help plant to climb, it is seen in cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, which come under grouts and grapevines. If stem is modified into thorn for the protection of plant from browsing animal, it is seen in citrus and bougainvillea. If stem is modified to perform photosynthesis, which we call phylloclade, and it is a very important example, it is seen in opuntia and euphorbia. In opuntia it is flat, and in euphorbia it is cylindrical. If stem is modified to do vegetative propagation, it is seen in Pistia and Iconia by the name of offset, and in banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum it is known by the name of sucker. Next we see leaf. Leaf originate from shoot apical meristem and are arranged in acropetal manner. Acropetal manner means new ones are at apex and old ones are at base. The leaf is attached to stem by leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structure known as stipules. Swollen leaf base is called pulvinus. It is very important, and it is seen in leguminous plant. Next we have venation. Venation means arrangement of vein and veinlet in lamina of leaf, and it is termed as venation. It is of two types. First one is reticulate, in which veinlet form a network, and it is usually seen in dicots, and second one is parallel, in which veins run parallel to each other, and it is commonly seen in monocots. Next we see type of leaf. There is two types of leaf, one is simple and other one is compound. We define simple as if incision do not touch the midrib, then the leaf is simple, and in compound, incision reach up to the midrib and breaking it into many leaflets. It is of two types, pinnately, in which leaflets are present on branches, example is neem, and palmately compound leaf, in which leaflets are attached at tip of petiole, example is silk cotton. Next we define a term phyllotaxy. The arrangement of leaves on stem or branches is known as phyllotaxy. It is of three types, alternate, opposite and whorled. If single leaf arise at each node, then it is known as alternate. Example are China rose, mustard, sunflower. If a pair of leaves arise at each node, example are Calotropis, guava. And the third one is whorled, when more than two leaves arise at each node, example is Alstonia. It is a very important example, you must remember this. Next we see modification of leaves. for the purpose of climbing, then it is known as tendril and it is seen in P. And if leaves are modified into spine for defense, it is seen as cacti or cactus. And if leaves are modified for the purpose of food storage, then it is seen in onion and garlic. If petiole perform photosynthesis, which is a part of leaf, then it is seen in Australian acacia. And if it modified to trap insect, which is seen in pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. These all examples are very important and you must learn them. Next we see inflorescence. Inflorescence is defined as arrangement of flower on floral axis. So it is of two types, racemose and cymose. In racemose, main axis continues to grow flower and are borne in acropetal manner. As I told you before, acropetal means new ones are at apex and old ones are at base. And in cymose, main axis terminate, you have to remember this word, terminate into a flower and are borne in vesipetal order, and vesipetal is just opposite acropetal, means new one are at base and old one are at apex. Next we see flower. Swollen end of pedicel is called thalamus. There is two type of flower, bisexual flower, in which stamen and carpel both present in a single flower, then it is known as bisexual. And if a flower either have stamen or carpel, then it is known as unisexual flower. Then we see symmetry of flowers. The first one is actinomorphic. It is also known as radial symmetry. When a flower can be divided into two equal halves in any radial plane passing through center, then it is known as actinomorphic, and examples are mustard, dhatura, chili. Second one is zygomorphic and it is also known as bilateral. When a flower can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane, then it is zygomorphic. Example are pea, gulmohar, bean, cassia. And if a flower cannot be divided into two equal planes, then it is known as asymmetric or irregular, and example is canna. These all examples are very, very important. You must remember them. Next we have we classified flower on the basis of position of ovary. The first one is hypogynous and it is also known as superior ovary. In this, gynoecium occupy the highest position. Examples are mustard, China rose, brinjal. Second one is perigynous. In this, ovary also known as half inferior. Sorry, the spelling mistake is there. You can correct it. Half inferior. In this, gynoecium is situated in the center and other part almost at the same level. The third one we have epigynous. In this, ovary is also known as inferior. In this, the margin of thalamus grow upward enclosing the ovary completely. Example are guava, cucumber, ray floret of sunflower. Next we have some terminology. Calyx, commonly known as sepal. Gamosepalous means sepals united. Polysepalous means sepals free. Corolla, commonly known as petals. Gamopetalous means petal united. Polypetalous means petals free. Then we have estivation. So how we define estivation? Mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral word with respect to other member of same whorl. You have to remember this word, same whorl. So we see in estivation the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals. We have four type of estivation mentioned in NCERT. There can be more, but we are only covering main points of NCERT. First one is valvate. In valvate, sepals or petals in a whorl just touch one another at the margins without overlapping. Example is calotropis. Second one we have twisted. One margin of appendages overlap that of the next one in a particular order. Example are China rose, ladyfinger, cotton. The third one we have is imbricate. In this, margin of flower overlap but not in a particular order. Examples are cassia, gulmohar. Fourth one we have vexillary or papilionaceous. Example are pea and bean. In this, when 5 petals differentiated into large standard petal or vexillum which overlap 2 lateral petals called wings, which in turn overlap the smallest anterior petal called keel. So you have to remember this keel word. Keel word is used for maxillary aestivation and examples are pea and vein. This is very important. Next we have androecium, and there are many terminology we like to discuss here. Epipetalous, stamen are attached to the petal, example is brinjal. Epiphyllous, stamen are attached to perianth, example is lily. Polyandrous, stamen remain free. Monoadelphous, stamen united into one bundle, example is China rose. Diadelphous, stamen united into two bundles, example is pea. Polyadelphous, it is asked in previous NEET examination. Polyadelphous, stamen united into more than two bundles, example is citrus. And if there is variation in length of filament within flower, it is seen in salvia and mustard. Next we call sterile stamen staminode. It is asked in NEET previous year question, so it is very important. Next we see placentation. Arrangement of ovule within the ovary is known as placentation. We have 5 types of placentation: marginal, parietal, axial, free central and basal. An example of these is very important. Marginal is seen in pea, parietal is seen in mustard and argemone, axial is seen in China rose, tomato, lemon, free central is seen in dianthus and primrose, and basal is seen is sunflower and marigold. Every example is very important, so you have to thoroughly remember all the examples here. Next we have gynoecium, and 2 terminology is there: apocarpus and syncarpus. Apocarpus is seen in rose, lotus, micalia, and syncarpus means syncarpus is seen in mustard and tomato. Apo means free, syn means fused. Next we see fruit. Mature or ripened ovary is called fruit. If fruit is formed from without fertilization of ovary, it is called parthenocarpic fruit. And we have 2 examples of drupe fruit, which is very important from NEET point of view, and they are asked in previous year question. Mango, in which mesocarp is edible, and coconut, in which mesocarp is fibrous. हमने इसमें फैमिलीज़ को इंक्लूड नहीं किया है क्योंकि फैमिलीज़ के लिए हमने एक अलग से डिटेल्ड वीडियो बनाई है, और जो पार्थेनोकार्पी एपोमिक्सिस के लिए भी हमने एक अलग से डिटेल्ड वीडियो बनाई है, जिसका लिंक हम डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल देंगे, तो आप उनको वहाँ से जाके अच्छे से समझ सकते हैं. On day 14, we will have a quick revision of chapter Anatomy of Flowering Plant. And if you like our videos, please subscribe to us. It will motivate us to give you more useful content. Thank you.